Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of explain what Disperser is doing because I know a lot of people kind of get Disperser and think it sounds awesome, but maybe some of you are kind of wondering what it actually does. And for me, was kind of what happened as well. Like I heard it being used in a lot of like aggressive bass sounds, uh, and I grabbed it and started using it, but I knew it was doing something with the phase, but I never really fully understood what was going on. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to try and demystify what's actually going on, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll know. So basically, disperser is a type of all-pass filter, which is really weird if you think about it, right? Because filters are meant to be filtering something, and disperser doesn't really filter anything out. The best way to explain it is we've got this normal filter here, right, which is just an EQ with a low-pass filter applied to it. And it's as I bring the cutoff frequency down, it starts to filter out those highs. But the way it does this, and all digital EQs do this, is they actually mess with the phase of a signal. So right around where this cutoff starts, the phase of the signal is going to start being shifted. And the reason you don't hear this very much is because most of this phase shift is happening at the point of the signal that's already been cut out. So you can imagine the phase shifting, and it gets really bad up here, but it doesn't matter because we've already cut that out. But it does actually shift a little bit of the phase before the cutoff. But anyway, so that's how digital EQs just work. And the way disperser works is that, let's open disperser here for a sec. So you can actually see the same sort of shape. This shape doesn't represent an EQ curve. What this does represent, though, is a shift in phase. So basically what an all-pass filter does is it shifts the phase without boosting or cutting any frequencies. And so if I just play the signal normally for a sec without disperser activated, that's what it sounds like. And you can see a representation of it on the spectrogram here. So now I'll enable disperser, and I've got, 7 dispersers in series, and I've mapped the frequency of the disperser to my MIDI controller, and I'll just sweep through the frequencies. And this is going to be like super exaggerated because I've got 7 in series, but you'll see what it sort of does. I'll pinch it a little bit. Yeah, so basically what it's doing here is it's shifting the phase in correlation with this sort of graph here, and like left to right represents the frequency range. And the reason it kind of smears the sound is because when a phase of a signal shifts, what that effectively does is it lengthens or contracts the waveform, and a longer waveform or a shorter waveform means a difference in pitch, right? Because, lower pitches are longer waveforms, higher pitches are higher waveforms. So for example, if I change the input signal to a single sine wave with operator and chuck disperser on that with a little bit of pinch, you'll see that when I scan over that sine wave signal, the pitch is going to rise and fall. So yeah, it's basically just contracting or expanding different parts of the frequency spectrum depending on how you have the parameters set up. And I guess you could say it's dispersing the signal. So when you like stack these dispersers together and mess with the signal in that way, what you're basically doing is like smearing the frequency ranges. But I guess everyone already knew that. If you've already got disperser, you know that that's what it kind of does. But hopefully now you know like why it's doing that. It's like messing with the phase without cutting any frequencies. Like an EQ would normally also mess with the phases, except the phases that it is messing with the most, it ends up cutting usually. Or if you're just making a small like bell shape cut or boost, it's not messing with the frequencies enough for it to be noticeable. Whereas Disperser's whole job is to make that noticeable, basically. So yeah, hopefully that helps with visualizing and sort of just knowing what Disperser is actually doing to your signal. So thank you.